I call that the dolphin call. That's the dolphin call. Like you're a dolphin and your
Uh-huh.
clients are dolphins. You have to get on their same radio frequency.
Mm-hmm.
They have to know that you understand them and dig them. Right. Okay. So you're asking about algorithm. We have no control over that. However, there are some things I want to tell you. If you do a valuable post and you
Mm-hmm.
have fewer followers, it's better because that is a better chance of going viral.
Okay. Welcome everyone to another episode of Your Lab Central. Today I'm joined with Jeanne Omlor. And Jeanne, would you like to tell our audience what they should be excited about for our conversation today?
Well, they should be excited because I'm on your show. They should be excited because I figured out how to get high ticket clients online with no ads. And that's what I've kind of known for. It's called organic social media marketing.
hmm Now, it's very vague right now. There's a lot of things that people do, but what's something
Mhm.
specific that you want people to take up first? Because you specifically said organic social media marketing.
Right.
So where should we start?
Well, I mainly coach coaches, consultants, and online service providers.
hmm
And the first thing that people do that's a mistake
hmm
is they're trying to sell something that's not clear. So they're trying to sell
Right.
an undefined offer, right? So it's I think I'm coaching, and I'm just going to go online and hope that those people kind of work out what I'm doing, and that doesn't
Yeah.
work. You have to be very, very clear on who you're helping,
hmm
what the offer is and what the price is. And when you're clear
Yeah.
on that, then it's okay, I have something to sell over and over. But a
Mm.
lot of people, I just see them randomly getting online and they think that everybody should figure out what they're doing. That's not what your client should do. You
Yeah.
should know. Like for instance, I know that I help coaches, consultants, and service providers, well, me and my team, that
hmm
we help those people get high ticket clients online with no ad spend. That's what we do. And
hmm
people say, okay, that's what I need. And it's not unclear of, well, I don't, not sure how I'm going to help you. So this thing of not being sure what you're doing is never going to work. So you got to
Right.
figure out what are we helping people with? How are we going to do that? And what are we charging?
hmm
Okay. Now we have an offer. Then from
Right.
there, once you have a clear offer, well, then it's a matter of figuring out, which uh, platform suits your offer better than the others. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
So
hmm
then from there, it's really about good content
hmm
and messaging that people are clear on what you're doing
Yeah.
and conversation.
hmm
It's really not hard. And everybody thinks that the bots are going to take over. I mean, I'm into AI, but we can
Yeah.
tell when it's an AI. And I think
Yes.
moving forward, human interaction is going to be at a premium.
hmm
People are going to want that more. You'll be
Right.
able to charge more
Yeah.
because we're not a bot.
hmm
So yeah, it's not really that hard, but I
hmm
think a lot of people just want to fudge stuff. They just want to plug things in and they don't want to work and they don't want to like dig in and do the real work of getting very, very clear on certain things before they sell anything.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned about the undefined offer, and we should have clarity about what we're offering, right? But a genuine question to you itself, right? Now, you're working with different kinds of business coaches who are working with different kinds of businesses themselves, right? So, for
Mm.
them, the value, each coach or each strategist's value proposition is unique in themselves. Okay.
Well, first, yeah, yes, but first of all, I just wanted to just clarify,
hmm
we are working with people that are not just business coaches. Like
Yeah.
we're coaching men's coaches, we're coaching divorce coaches, we're coaching executive leadership coaches, um, all sorts of coaches,
Yeah.
consultants,
hmm
all sorts of consultants, and also providers. Like we have some accountants in there and financial advisors and a few and digital marketing firms.
Right.
So it's
Right.
it's not just business coaches coaching business
Yeah. Yeah.
coaches. Okay. But
Okay.
yes, it has to be a defined offer. They have to be very
Yeah.
clear. And we help them with that. Because
Right.
I know offers. I know what sells, I know what's out there, and I know what
Mhm.
people need because I've been doing this a long time. I've
Mhm.
spoken to thousands of people and I know the
Right.
market. So that helps. Because otherwise you're guessing, right?
Yeah. Now, what my question was basically is that every person that you are serving has a unique value proposition that they want to propagate, right?
Mm.
Now, regardless, obviously, your goal is to help them reach, get high ticket clients with
Mm-hmm.
organic social media marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But how, when you're making the offer, how are you sure of? yourself that the service, I mean, you have a plan already before even getting started, because maybe you've not fully discussed their business proposition, or probably, obviously, we have the end goal in mind, but then the
Mm.
work process itself or the strategy may not be laid out. So how are you so sure about it?
Okay. Well, when people speak with me and
Mm-hmm.
they say, I'm a business coach
Yeah.
and I'm helping these types of businesses
Mm-hmm.
and they're not getting clients, it's pretty obvious to me.
Yeah.
So I get on I get on a call, but I do get on a call first. I don't just say sure. We get on
Yeah.
an evaluation call slash
Yeah.
sales call, and I
Yeah.
say, okay, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, oh, Jean, I'm doing this and this, and I'm like, okay, there's a gap there because I know what works and I know what you're not doing. And they might say, I'm already on LinkedIn. Are you
Uh-huh.
getting any clients there?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not. Well, that's obvious. They're not doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody thinks that, oh, it's just not working. This is going to
Yeah.
work for everybody else, but it's not going to
Yeah.
work for me. And
Mm-hmm.
in a way, that's kind of egotistical because it means you're special, that you're so special that things work for
Yeah.
everybody else but you. It's
Right.
still thinking you're special. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? It's still
Yeah.
ego, no
Yeah.
matter what. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to work for everybody else, but not me. Nope, it works for everybody who does the work, actually, because
Yeah.
we work it out. Yes, there's some finessing because we are not a McDonald's coaching company and we don't just plug things in. Everybody has a
Yeah.
different offer, so we work to make sure that's
Right.
optimized, of course. Yeah.
Now, since this podcast is also a lot about social media engagement and
Mm,
organic and inorganic and everything, but I want
hmm
to talk about how you've been helping people. I mean, there is this thing, LinkedIn, Instagram,
hmm
YouTube, and everything.
hmm
There are a lot of people coming on podcasts, talk about their business and their value proposition itself. But
Right.
when it comes about when we talk about organic social media engagement, uh,
hmm
what is the first thing that you tell your client? I mean,
The
if you,
first thing I tell my client,
yeah,
well, I mean, first we get them clear on the offer, the avatar, and the pricing. The
mm,
first thing then after that,
yeah,
we got to clear on the messaging.
hmm, okay,
So
yeah,
I can look at somebody's messaging on any platform
hmm,
and I can know already if they're getting clients or not
okay,
just by their messaging. Because I know that when it's not good messaging, they are not getting clients.
okay,
Okay. That I call that the dolphin call. That's the dolphin call. Like you're a dolphin and your
uh-huh,
clients are dolphins. You have to get on their same radio frequency. They
hmm,
have to know that you understand them and dig them, right?
hmm,
Like that's me. I want that. It's like the I help XYZ people get XYZ results.
hmm,
People don't do that well. They just put tags all over the place. This, a title,
hmm,
this, a slogan. Well,
yeah,
slogans don't work unless you're a big company like Nike. And
yeah,
this is another problem people have. They don't understand
hmm,
you are not Nike.
hmm, yeah,
You are not Russell Brunson.
right,
You're you. And
yes,
we have to market in the way that
hmm,
suits where we are
hmm,
in that journey. Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah,
So, for instance, just do it. That works. Who does that work for?
no,
Nike.
yeah,
It works for Nike. It's a shoe company. We all know it. That's
yes,
a different kind of branding and advertising.
hmm,
So people go, well, that worked. Yeah, but that's a huge well, like even if Tony Robbins does something,
hmm,
that's not going to work. What
yeah,
Tony Robbins does? Yeah, are you Tony Robbins? Do you have that money? Do you have the team? Do you have the renown? Are you famous?
yeah,
So basically, a lot of people are acting like famous people.
hmm,
That's not how you market. You market as you.
right,
Make sense? So
hmm,
when you're you and you're a coach and you're not famous and you got an offer, you can't just do the slogans, do this or get your best life now. And because when people see something like for, mindset coaches or
yeah,
life coaches, get your best life now.
doesn't,
There's no promise in that. It's just go do that. Okay. Uh-huh. Instead of I help a certain type of person change their life in this specific way, then they're like, whoa, I'm that person and I want that.
hmm,
Instead of change your life now, we're being told to do things all over the place. That doesn't
yeah,
mean that that person has value. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Anybody can say change your life now, and that's slogan marketing, I call that. And
yeah,
that does not work. What people want to know,
hmm,
who are you and why do I need to listen to you and what are you going to do for me?
okay.
How, what are you going to do for me? That's what they want to know.
Hmm. Now, I see a lot of people on LinkedIn, right? They write a
Hmm.
lot of knowledge articles. They'll post an article. They'll probably just write a long
Hmm.
post itself, then put a
Yeah.
fancy picture in that.
Yes.
Um, Looking at that kind of media that comes out, the sometimes it just looks made up, right? That they pulled it
It
out
will.
from ChatGPT or
It
something.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then there are also a few people who put out genuine content, right? Now,
Yes.
who pulled it out
Hmm.
from their experience and then done that. But there is no call to action to their own post that they've put out. Probably it's
Hmm.
because they've not got any commercial idea as they don't want to commercialize it, but and they're just putting
Hmm.
it out. Okay.
Mm.
But it is earnest, right? That engagement is earnest, but then that just falls short because there's no engagement on it, and people
Mm.
probably only the person knows is just reacting to
Mm.
that post.
Mm.
How can someone actually go from that small circle who's only reacting to a bigger circle? Because a knowledge post, obviously, when sent out, is basically for the larger audience, right?
Hmm.
And it may or may not be for attracting clients, but at least letting other people know that, yeah, I am a
Mm.
specialist in this domain, right?
Mm.
What are
Okay.
some tweaks would you suggest?
Right. Okay. So you're asking about algorithm. We have no control over that. However, there are some things I want to tell you. If you do a valuable post and you
Hmm.
have fewer followers, it's better because
Okay.
that is a better chance of going viral.
Okay.
And when you have a lot, because when you have a lot of people, the goal is not to have a million connections.
Yeah.
Because those people, sure, they'll connect because they just think it's good to have a bunch of connections, just they want to get the connections. But
Yeah.
they're not engaged, they don't care about what you do, and they're not targeted followers. So when
Right.
you have a few targeted people that actually care about what you're saying and you do a really good post,
Mm.
we've had some clients we've helped go viral,
Okay.
viral, hundreds of thousands of views and many calls booked because it's not about how many, it's how engaged. And it's
Right.
often better to have few that engage more because then it trips the algorithm and it shows it to more people
Hmm.
that aren't even your friends. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's that. People are obsessed with engagement.
Hmm.
Yet, how come I know people that have 100,000 followers on Instagram and can't get clients from it?
Yeah.
They're focusing on the wrong things.
Hmm.
You should focus on sales, not engagement. Okay.
Okay.
Unless you're just doing a personal branding, and a lot of people are just personal branding. They have work at a company and they're not selling anything.
Hmm.
Then it luck of the draw, really. But it helps to not just post boring posts.
Hmm.
And there's so much to content that but I will tell you, you're better off having few engaged followers that actually listen and do stuff because that will create more reach than just collecting people
Right.
collecting. I get rid of people regularly that are not engaging, don't care what I do,
Hmm.
because what's the point, right? It's
Yeah. Okay.
sludging down my results. But I'm not obsessed with likes and follows. I've never been because I just go for the sale. If
Hmm.
I sat around wondering, and then of course every now and then, wow, but I've never had a viral post and I've made millions of dollars. It's not, who cares? I just
Right.
every day,
Yeah.
it's about the sales.
Hmm.
And I'm not even posting content much lately because my person that was doing it has a heart condition and I didn't want to replace him right away. So I thought, well, I'm still getting sales because I had so much content.
Hmm.
Are we going to start posting content again? Yes.
Hmm.
But I didn't let that stop me and go, oh my gosh, I've got no. I mean, we do post about the podcast. I have a
Yeah.
podcast, but that's just easy. We're just saying, here's the new podcast. And I just have
Yeah.
my team member do that. And we all know that, that's not
Yeah.
a personal post, but
Uh-huh.
there's so much about content.
Hmm.
And what I say is avoid spinning the vanilla wheels. The vanilla wheels are just posting content for the sake of it and churning content out and getting a content social media manager. They never do a good job where they're just creating like vanilla content just to get the content on the timeline. And people are bored with content. We're overwhelmed with content. We don't want to watch another post. And
Hmm.
some people say, oh my goodness, do you want my free article? I'm like, no, I don't. There's
Hmm.
so much content. Why would I want your free article? I'm so behind on my Audible as it is and reading the books and
Right.
listening to the books. So people have to understand that we're not thrilled when you're going to send us a free article.
Yeah.
There's so many articles. That's no longer a gift.
Mm.
That's like, really? Do I have to? Like, unless they think they're so amazing. And again, ego
Yeah.
comes into this. We have to get rid of all ego. It has to just
Okay.
disappear.
Hmm.
All ego needs to disappear. You wrote a book. So what? A million people wrote a book. You have a podcast. Congratulations. So do I and a million other people,
Right.
right? It,
Yes.
nobody cares. They care. How are you going to help me?
Hmm.
How is that going to happen? Now, people do care when I say I'm a multi-million dollar coach for coaches and consultants and we'd help generate millions of dollars organically. Why? Because it helps them.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
We say that because I want them to know I'm, I am a multi-million dollar coach, and
Uh-huh.
people usually want to coach with somebody that's done something they want to do,
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
That's important to let them know that, right? But
Okay.
since I've made money and since before I made money, I'm the same person. I just have less stress about lack,
That's
and I
right.
have more investments. And there's stress in other ways of running a business, but not that stress of, oh my goodness, I'm
Yeah.
in debt,
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
a bad stress.
Yeah. So, since we talked about having plenty, would you like to talk about your journey as to where it started? I mean, your LinkedIn journey, and then probably something like that, where it started off.
Sure.
Where
So,
it
so
ended.
Absolutely. So LinkedIn is just one of the places. So I first started on Facebook and I
Okay.
crushed Facebook and
Right.
it was great. And then I learned LinkedIn. Then I learned Instagram. So we coach on all three of those.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it just depends what the offer is.
Hmm.
Like somebody should be on Instagram, maybe not on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. Somebody should be, it depends. But what's important is not just to cookie cut and send people, you have to really work with people to figure out where they should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was a coach for 8 years offline, business
Okay.
consultant, coach, strategist for
Yeah.
all sorts of businesses. And
Mm-hmm.
I got online not even 6 years ago, and I was in deep
Right.
debt, no money, no assets. I was 54 and a half years old.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 60 now. Okay. And I figured out how to get clients online with no ads. It was hard, but I figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to $1 million in 17 months
Mm-hmm.
at 92% profit because no ads on
Yeah.
my own with just a VA here and there. I was
Mm-hmm.
a beast and I was creating it all and coaching, and I hired another coach, and now we have coaching team,
Mm-hmm.
various experts. And I have maybe three people on my team. I need to hire a couple more people, but we have about three people on my
Okay.
team now, and I have a coaching team. So we're at several million. So yeah, I mean, it was really like, oh my goodness, I was in deep debt,
Mm-hmm.
older. I have to fix this. So mine's a different journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this needs to work. So I did it, and we've helped a lot of people now to thrive and to get clients all over the world. We'd have clients from all over the world because I teach them how to get clients with a phone and Zoom, and not out there networking in person anymore. So that changed my life. I'm so
Right.
grateful I figured it out because it did change my life. It changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
So am I grateful? I'm super grateful. And things are going really well. And and I did test ads to like 100K worth, and they don't work well. They do work for
Yeah.
random people, like, but
Mhm.
most coaches, they're not working.
Yeah.
So what's really working though are my ads, very cheap ads to my podcast channel on YouTube. That's working. I just figured that one out. So
Okay.
I also coach people on how to start and monetize a podcast as well, because that's also organic. And I
Yeah.
figured out recently how to get subscribers for like 3 or 4 cents each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've gotten like 38,000 views in the last 12 days since I figured this out. So I'm
Right.
always researching that as well because I have a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I've made so much. I've probably made about a half a million just off my podcast in other ways
Mm-hmm.
so far. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things I mean I can learn from you, but that's probably a conversation for another day.
Yeah, we should chat.
Yeah, we should probably, yes, we should be doing that offline. But yeah, next, I don't know where should I take this here from? Um, you talked about you've been specifically doing a lot of viral posts, right? What's your favorite platform? Let's just take it from there. What's your favorite?
My favorite platform. You know what? It varies. I loved Facebook because I just knew everything about Facebook groups.
Yeah,
People in groups would come to me, but things have changed on Facebook. It's not as much visibility now.
yeah,
And then I didn't love LinkedIn at first, but it's much simpler. It's just simple, easy to get clients there. And then at one point, I was just all in love with Instagram. But what's really working the best right now for me is LinkedIn and my podcast. Of
mm-hmm.
course, we keep, you know, the Instagram and the Facebook because we coach on that. So we have to keep researching what's working. But generally, if you have an offer, even if it's not business like life coaches,
Yeah,
I had a breathwork coach and healers were doing better on LinkedIn. LinkedIn just seems to be easier to get people and it's not crazy like the other ones. So
Hmm.
LinkedIn's my favorite right now. Just 'cause I find it so easy to get people on calls. Like it's straightforward, you know?
Yeah, they've got a lot of tools just lined up, book
Yeah.
an appointment, do this, do that. You can look for, I mean, Sales Navigator is a whole beast in itself, but
And it
I'm,
works.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
And the
works.
thing is, see, LinkedIn wants you to get clients because you're paying for that. You're paying for you're paying for Navigator. All the other ones we were pretending we weren't getting clients for years. And
Yeah,
they finally realized, well, Facebook finally realized, well, okay, we're going to let you boost personal posts now. You
yeah.
know, 5 years ago, they were actually deleting accounts of people that they had spiders crawling just
Hmm.
to read the banners
Hmm.
to see if people were reporting it as a business page. And they were
Okay.
deleting accounts. Then they realized they couldn't win that battle.
Okay.
So now you can actually boost personal posts, and nobody's saying no, you can't do business on your personal page. They realized that a lot of people would just leave Facebook in that in the case because
Yeah,
all we were on there for was business.
exactly.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't even be on Facebook if it weren't for business. I never post personal stuff.
Hmm.
I'm on there. Well, it's good because my friends in Australia, we can leave messages on Messenger,
Hmm.
but we can also use WhatsApp for that. So,
Right.
right.
Hmm. Now, next thing, let's talk about your business again. How many people have you worked with? I mean, when it comes to impact, if you could quantify the number of people you've
Oh, we've
impacted.
helped over 500 coaches and consultants at this point. I've lost track.
Okay.
But it's a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm thinking of other ways to help people in the whole world to thrive. That's not just coaching.
Hmm.
But yeah, we've really helped a lot, and that's we've done our bit. And I'm now thinking of other ways, not to do with my coaching program. I have a 40-year purpose to help as many people on the earth to
Yeah.
thrive as possible because
Mhm.
AI and everything. So I'm thinking of other for anybody. How can we help people make money in other ways? Because not everybody can be a coach or a consultant or
Yeah.
a provider, right? They might not have the education. They might not speak that well. They
Mhm.
might not be presentable. So how do we help those people?
Mhm.
Everyday people. So that's my mission is to kind of figure out ways how can everyday people that don't want to turn up in camera and be coaches make money. That's my other mission.
Right. That sounds like purpose. I mean that's what I work with is basically that businesses without purpose are basically going to wither away at some point of time. So having a
Oh,
purpose, yeah,
for
probably
sure.
yes, helps with that a lot.
Right,
Um,
because you can't sustain there. You don't want, after the first million, it would be hard to sustain if I always had purpose. So I
yeah.
just kept going. I
Hmm.
always wanted to help people to thrive. And then I figured out oh wow, that's a big part of what I do. And I kind of thought, oh, okay, my purpose actually is helping people to thrive. And one of my colleagues said that. He said, you are emotionally connected to helping people to thrive. I said, you're right. I'm
Yeah.
emotionally connected to that, which
Hmm.
I didn't actually piece that together. He said, that's why you're so good at this.
That's right.
Okay. So when you get clear on that, then it takes it further. But you know, once you get past the first million, if you
Hmm.
are not all in on your mission, you won't continue. It's hard. Just if you're
Uh,
not in on it, if you have
mhm.
no purpose in that, it's hard to sustain that and keep going because you get burnt out.
Yeah.
You don't care enough.
That's true. I mean, it's, I think I read it on LinkedIn itself. Getting from 0 to 1 million is impossible. 1 to 10 is kind of improbable, but 10 to 100 is inevitable and that kind of thing. So, things is,
I love those nice things they post all over the internet that are like based on really nothing because it depends on they love doing that. Depends on the
yeah,
person, depends on, you know what I mean? There's
yeah,
all these rules that people don't believe all the rules because you could break
yeah,
them.
yes.
You could break, there's a rule that, you
Mhm.
know, women after a certain age probably are not going to do that well.
Okay.
There's a rule that
Yeah.
single moms aren't going to do that well financially. You know that, right? So, did I listen to that?
No,
Nope. Nope.
nope.
Because when you start listening to that, you
Hmm.
let that rule your life. You should just say, I'm me and I'm going to do what I want. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do.
Hmm.
If I listen to that, oh, it's so hard for people that come out of that to make money. And oh, it's hard for women who are, da, da. I thought, no, I'm just going to do
Uh,
what I'm going to do.
yeah.
And that is what speaks life into people, not creating stupid rules that people read and harm them. You know, I don't know if that's true. Who cares? Do your own thing and just make the money you want to make. That's my thing, right?
Yeah.
Break the rules. Be the exception.
That's a lot of inspiration for me. I mean, yeah, that's something I'll be looking forward to and when I get there.
Mm.
So before we close, do you have where should people get in touch with you?
Well, my name, JeanneOmlor.com. That's
Okay.
my website, and we're going to give you a link to people
Mhm.
can see hundreds of client reviews. Also on LinkedIn at Jeanne Omlor, on Instagram at Jeanne Omlor, on Facebook. It's just simple. My name,
Okay.
all over the place.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me on this episode of ULab Central. So, to the audience, if you liked what you saw and what we were talking about, do leave a like. If you have something, if you related to something, and if you have a doubt, do leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel before. Yeah, you have something to add?
Yes, I have a podcast called Business Wealth Impact.
Hmm. So, yeah,
They
don't
might.
forget to join her on her conversation itself. Thank you for joining in.